So this is the shutter assembly. Hopefully the camera will focus here. And the shutter assembly has two inputs to two different coils. One is driving the actual shutter coil, and one is driving the quote-unquote aperture. And this is kind of an interesting thing, actually. This little assembly does not have, there is no aperture in this lens assembly. As far as I can see, there's this little shutter opener closer which latches open, and then there is the quote-unquote aperture, which is actually a neutral density filter that drops in the optical path, and it also latches open and closed. And I did some experimentation with this shutter, and I discovered that if you apply 1.5 volts to these contacts on the back, if I can get to them here, you can cause it to open or close, and the opening and closing is polarity dependent. So one applying positive to one side and negative to the other side will cause it to open, and then you have to additionally flip them around to get it to close. Surprise, surprise, really. I'll see if I can demonstrate that. And there it closed, and now I'll flip these around. And if I can make contact, there it opens again. So that's the operation of the shutter mechanism. The other interesting thing is, because this is a CCD sensor, you need to have a shutter in front of it for the sensor to appropriately operate. So the whole goal of this disassembly of this broken camera was to determine whether or not the sensor could be mated with some kind of external lens. And I think you could, actually. I think it could be pulled off if you sort of just removed the whole lens assembly and used the sensor externally. But you'd still need a shutter in place. And right now the limiting factor is actually the thickness of this shutter. So in order to have an additional lens out here, the distance between the lens and the sensor has to be essentially greater than this sandwich of assemblies, which is a few millimeters. It seems perhaps a bit unrealistic, but who knows. That's all I have.